This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 5th of February. I'm Michael Groff. After a few days of record temperatures here in the valley, we'll see a gradual cooling trend for the rest of the week and heading into this weekend. A bit more of a pronounced cool down for next week. And way out there toward the end of the forecast period, we could be talking about the return of unsettled weather to the southwest. Could that mean some rain for us here in Phoenix? Dare I even ask the question? Well, you know what we're going to do. We're going to dive in and talk about it. But before we do, let's get to that almanac from yesterday. And it was a spring-like day with an afternoon high temperature of 86 degrees. And obviously that broke the daily record of 85, that morning low of 56. Yeah, both of those well above those averages for the date of 69 and 48. And just to have a look at the almanac, our daily high temperatures, typically we're up at 86 degrees by about mid-April. So it definitely felt like spring out there. In fact, the average first date that we observe 86 degrees in Phoenix based on the rolling 30-year average is the 12th of March. So we are way ahead of schedule, regardless of how you look at it, for these kinds of temperatures. All right, looking outside right now, here just after 6 a.m., we've got clear sky out there. We're at 54 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 28, humidity 38%, light wind, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west. A case of severe clear here in Arizona for right now. The main storm track, of course, remains well off to the north of us as high pressure is in control over the southern tier of the United States. That's going to provide us with another day of above average temperatures, although not quite as warm as we have seen in recent days, with those upper heights relaxing a bit. And ultimately, that ridge is going to start to break down and at least allow some high clouds in here by this weekend. Here's the watch warning map, and generally speaking, the southwest is about the only part of the country that's really quiet. We've got winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories well to the north of us from the Great Basin up into the Intermountain West. Check it out. Winter storm warnings for parts of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, eastern Washington, the snowflakes flying up there. You've got those winter weather advisories from the Central Plains up into parts of the Midwest, around Chicago and Kenosha, over into parts of Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. We've got ice storm warnings in portions of Pennsylvania and down into portions of Maryland and West Virginia. You could see some pretty significant ice accumulation there. Dense fog advisories for the southeast U.S. And let's kind of zoom in. Let's key in on that wintry precipitation that we see from the Ohio Valley eastward. Look at this. This is ice accumulation. Now, this is through tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central time. We could see some minor ice accumulation really from the Central Plains states, but really the main area of concern here is western and central Pennsylvania southward into portions of Maryland and the northern Virginias there. And yeah, 1 to 2/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. And obviously that's very significant. That could cause power outages, utility disruptions, obviously very, very hazardous travel, and thus the reason for that ice storm warning in some of those locations. Wow. All right, the convective outlook for today. Actually, we do have the little sliver of a marginal risk there over parts of Tennessee and Kentucky, a very low-end threat for severe storms. A few storms may produce some gusty winds and hail in those areas today. The broader risk for thunder from parts of the southeast up into the middle Atlantic region. All right, here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing statewide, practically nothing. We don't anticipate any major threat of precipitation for the next 7 days, but just beyond this period, things could get at least slightly more interesting based on modeling. Speaking of, we'll take a look at that right now, see what the future may hold. Here we go. It's the GFS. This is the 06Z run. It's valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Check out the ridge across the eastern half of the country. Those above average heights, they extend all the way up into the Great Lakes. So temperatures are going to be above average, really from the southwest to the southern plains, the Gulf Coast, up into the Ohio Valley. But what it means for us down to the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny, Warm, but not quite as warm as we've seen in recent days. I expect highs this afternoon somewhere between about 76 to 80. That's still more than 10 degrees above average for us here in Phoenix. Now for tonight, clear sky, overnight lows, 40s for the cool spots, low 50s for the urban core. Tomorrow, more the same, sunny, highs pretty close to 80. And you see all that rain and snow, of course, the ice, the freezing rain. It'll be up into the eastern Great Lakes, Pennsylvania, New York State. Of course, snow will be flying further north, rain further to the south. But the big story also is going to be those record temperatures. And I just want to show you this real quick. This is coming off of the National Digital Forecast Database. These are forecast highs for tomorrow, for Thursday. We'll see 80s for places like Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Longview, Texas. Anywhere you see those squares, the boxes there around the temperatures, those indicate record-tying or record-breaking high temperatures for tomorrow. And again, places like Columbus, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, even up into the Smoky Mountains of western North Carolina. We could see some record-breaking temps tomorrow. Obviously, it's going to be very mild on the southern side of that surface boundary that's going to be there. But further to the north, it's just going to be a big mess. But man, even 70s into the Carolinas, the coastal Carolinas, close to 80. Some of those spots. Obviously, 80s in Florida. So it's going to be very, very mild, not just here in the Southwest, but the entire southern tier of the United States. Typical of what we would see in this kind of weak La Nina that we are currently ensconced in. All right, back to the forecast here for Friday. The GFS, well, we're pretty quiet here with temperatures, again, mid to upper 70s. The sky remains sunny. We've got precipitation well off to the north of us from the Sierra, the Great Basin, and up into the Intermountain West. Obviously, snow for the higher elevations. Here's Saturday, and we're going to see this ridge continue to break down a bit here in the southwest. Now, heights are going to remain above average, so temperatures will still be very mild. But we'll see an increase in high clouds here, and we'll call it partly sunny for Saturday with highs at least in the mid, maybe still upper 70s, low to mid 70s on Sunday with partly sunny sky. Highs probably between about 73 to 77. And if you're participating in the Runner's Den Pancake Run up there in Paradise Valley on Sunday, should just be a gorgeous morning with temperatures starting out in the 50s. Probably by the time race wraps up, we'll be close to 60 degrees or so. All right, here's Monday. Temperatures still lowering a bit, probably around 70 to the low 70s here in Phoenix. Again, partly sunny sky, a lot of high clouds during this period. Starting Saturday, continuing through Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday, highs upper 60s and low 70s as troughing continues to dig in to the north and west of us. The heights are going to be coming down here and still plenty of mid and high level clouds around, but no precipitation, at least not as of yet. A week from today, this is Wednesday, the 12th of February, and again, troughing is establishing itself across the west and the central plain states, but most of the shortwave energy is going to stay to the north of us for now. But the GFS sure does indicate that we're going to see a trough beginning to dig in again, another shortwave piece of energy setting up along the west coast at some point, the middle and latter part of next week. This is Thursday. And if this works out, we could see at least a few showers coming into the mix here across Arizona, including Phoenix, by next Thursday. But again, this is out here, out toward day 8, day 9. So we're trudging into the realm of fantasy here. And the models have sure done a great job of teasing us time and time again the last few months. So obviously, you know what we're going to say here. We'll believe it when we see it. But a lot of the global models, the deterministic data at least, really wants to dig troughing in across the west. And so we'll watch for cooler temperatures and the potential of some unsettled conditions. And this is still true as we go out to Friday the 14th, Valentine's Day. And boy, what a sweet day it would be if we could get some precipitation. And me, I don't know. This is probably not the most romantic thing in the world, but I think there's nothing more romantic than a nice rainy day here in the desert for Valentine's Day. I don't know. I think that's great, but what do I know? Most people like sunny and nice, beautiful, but we get sunny days every day. You know, romantic days, Valentine's Day, it's supposed to be something special. So why not something special? And something we've only had once in the last 165 days, and that's measurable rain. I don't know. What do I know, right? All right. You know, maybe Michelle will chime in with her thoughts on this, but I do think that rainy days are great days. All right. Well, maybe we'll see that for Valentine's Day. All right. Going out here to precipitation. This is off of the GFS Ensemble. This goes out through the 19th of February. Now, the control member is way up there at about half an inch. Obviously, the ensemble mean well below that, but the numbers are coming up off the ensemble members here. European ensemble, the control member is almost at an inch, and the ensemble mean is almost at a third of an inch here, or between a quarter and a third of an inch. So there is at least an indication that we could see somewhat more unsettled conditions out toward the middle part of the month. Again, we're not quite ready to go all in on that idea just yet, but the ensemble members are at least looking a little bit more promising than they have in recent days. Let's check out temperatures off the national blend of models. Obviously, we're going to stay above average for the rest of the week, this weekend, even into next week. Highs creeping down toward average. If we manage to get some precipitation and those deeper troughs coming in here, temperatures may wind up being lower than what's shown here. But for now, no signs of any major cool downs, and we don't anticipate any Arctic outbreaks here. No sign of any freezing temperatures just yet, but those overnight lows will get a bit cooler as we get further into the forecast period. Let's check out the data from the Climate Prediction Center, their forecast, what they say here. This is for the period of February 12th through the 18th. This is the 8 to 14-day outlook for temperatures. And here in Arizona, for the most part, they favor temperatures to skew pretty much close to average, maybe slightly below average temperatures for the Colorado River Valley and points to the north and west of us. Precipitation, probabilities favoring near average to maybe above average across Arizona, depending on where you are. Near average precipitation chances and for southern Arizona, above average precipitation possible for the northern part of the state. All in all, no major indications of obvious, of a big heat wave to continue or any real cold temperatures. No major winter storms headed our way, but maybe some low-end unsettled weather out there toward the end of next week. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning, and should you happen to enjoy these videos, and well, of course you do, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make those monetary contributions to us, or you can donate directly via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out her blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, and possibly even Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description. Also linked up down there is our streaming station. It's available 24/7, 365. What do we do there on that station? Well, it's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun over there. Give it a listen. If you want to check it out in the description, you can do that, or just go directly to kmgx.com and listen via that avenue. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is immensely appreciated. Please be safe out there, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Wednesday.